What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. That is another loss for the Philadelphia Flyers. Honestly, you could say 2 games in a row for this Flyers squad that they probably deserve the better result. They nearly doubled the shot total in this game. They completely outshot Buffalo in this game. They had 40 shots to Buffalo's 15. But 5 of those 15 shots for Buffalo ended up in the back of the net. Carter Hart leaves this game early with a mid-body injury, as they call it. I really hope it's not like, type of a groin issue or just something in his torso part of the body, because it looked a little bit awkward for him. The first time he looked uncomfortable, the trainer comes out, he says he's fine, but then basically after that second goal he just didn't look right. He just was slow getting up once again, and Torts, for a second time seeing that, I'm sure he was not going to let Carter Hart stay into this game. So hopefully this is nothing terrible for Carter Hart. This is nothing long-term or anything like that. Hopefully this is just a day-to-day thing, because that would definitely be a huge blow for this Flyers team. Because Sam Ersson right now just doesn't have it. He was really good for your last year. His numbers don't look as good just because he stayed in one game where John Tortorella kept him in the entire time, where the Flyers lost 7-0 to the New Jersey Devils, and that was a day he wanted to give Carter Hart a full day off. So Ersson's numbers from that game were completely, skewed his stats of the overall season, because he was very reliable for you last season. Now, so far in the couple of games that he has played, he has not been reliable for you. He has not been able to get that save that, keeps you within distance, because even though the Flyers were able to hold Buffalo to very minimal chances in this game, Buffalo, when they got their chances, they put it into the back of the net against Ersson in that third period. And yeah, you could say they were grade A chances, A+ chances, because, a couple of good passing plays, guys left over wide open in the slot, and just, turnovers that Buffalo manages to cash in on. And yeah, you can't fully blame Ersson on that, but you would like him to make a save in that scenario. But now there's a bunch of Flyers fans going all throughout saying that Ersson doesn't have it. Ersson sucks, completely forgetting what he did for you last year, and that even though last year was just a lost cause of a season, Ersson last year for you was really good in his rookie year. The league looks like right now they have adjusted to him. He's going through a bit of a sophomore slump, as you call it, and now it's on him to readjust to the league and readjust to those teams that made adjustments to him. So he's not a bad goalie. The team has a lot of faith in this guy, and it's up to him to figure it out. He doesn't suck. I believe that's very unfair of Flyers fans to do that, but, Flyers fans stay Flyers fans. Seriously, when you're at the arena, there's so many people that are just getting pissed off and everything like that, even though they don't even understand the situation that the team's in, or completely forget the situation that the team is in. It's not even that the Flyers played bad in this game. They couldn't finish on their chances. They got 40 shots in this game. They had so many shots. They had 20 shots in the third period overall. They had 20 shots in the first 2 periods combined, and they had 20 shots in the third period total. So that shows you all the chances that the Flyers were getting in that third period. They just couldn't bury it. They just couldn't find the back of the net. Every time, you get a 2-on-0 with Scott Lawton and everything like that, he opts not to shoot. He opts to pass it, and the Buffalo goaltender reads it right away. You're getting so many chances down low in the crease, pucks squirting all over the place, and you just can't find a way to bury one. Tyson Forrester getting all the chances in the world, missing the net, just can't find Twine, and he just is so snake bitten right now. You're seriously, after one of the chances that he had, you can see him just after the play just try to break his stick over his head. That's how frustrated he was. And it's just very unfortunate for him how snake bitten he is. You would like to see him bury one of those chances, because yes, he is a very intriguing piece for your future, especially from what he did in his small sample size last season after getting called up to the big club, basically playing a point per game at that rate last season. Just really has not been able to find the back of the net. He's really snake bitten right now. And you could say that for a lot of the guys of the Flyers. Owen Tippett, even though he has a couple of goals on the year, still can't consistently put one in the back of the net. Really, the Flyers were really only able to get their goals today off of a Joel Farabee shot that goes off of one of the Buffalo forward sticks as they're back checking. So that was a very fluky goal. But hey, bounces go your way sometimes, and you take it every day of the week. Also, that play was a result of a very nice setup pass and outlet pass by Travis Sanheim. And Travis Sanheim does it again on the second Flyers goal, where he sets up Cam Atkinson to get a beautiful redirection behind the Buffalo netminder to tie the game up at 2. So Carter Hart comes out after the 2 goals that Buffalo scores because he leaves the game with an injury. So hopefully everything is fine with him. Still, I didn't think the Flyers played a bad game. They played up against to a really good team. It was 2-2 for a while. You know, Ersson just couldn't make that save to keep you within it, and you just couldn't find a way to bury the puck into the net on all the chances that you got in this game. So that is basically the justification of everything in this game. Flyers, it was, back-to-back games. You could say the game against Carolina and the game today was just very eerily similar to each other. Last game, you just couldn't find a way to bury one after you played a very good third period against the Carolina Hurricanes and then get that goal late to where you can't even do anything because they're just, ragging the puck around and playing keep away for the last 3 minutes of the game on Monday. And basically for today, Buffalo gets that goal early on in the third period. You get so many chances in the world to do something and you just can't find a way to cash in. You maybe one too many mistakes that Buffalo manages to pounce on the few chances that they do get in this game. And sadly, Ersson wasn't there to make the saves. And sadly, you just couldn't find a way to bury that biscuit. It just sucks to see that. But Joel Farabee gets a goal in this game, and Cam Atkinson gets another goal in this game. So that's good for those two. But Middlestat gets one of the goals for Buffalo. Biro gets his first 2 NHL goals in this game for the Sabres. Owen Power and Tage Thompson also get the other goals. But seriously, look at the shots throughout the rest of the game. 10-7 Flyers in the first period, 10-4 Flyers in the second period, and then 20-4 Flyers in the third period. Buffalo, it was a 2-2 game. Buffalo scored 3 goals on 4 shots in the third period, so that just basically showcased how little chances they got. Also, one of those goals was an empty netter, so it basically showcased how little chances that they got, but they managed to capitalize on the situations because the chances that they did get were A-plus chances, and they managed to do so on those things. And yes, you would wish Ersson was able to make a save on that to keep yourselves within reach. But you also gotta, when you have 40 shots on the net, and yeah, you can also classify it as getting goalied by the other team because even though he didn't have to make any sprawling, spectacular saves, he was still in good positions to keep the puck out of the net for the rest of the game for Buffalo. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. That's his name. Fantastic name. It's kind of a tongue twister if you say it too fast. But, yeah, man, it's just a game where they just deserve the better results. Now, can you say that this is just everything evening out, get off to a hot start, and now that, you're playing a few games here, you're starting to play better, tiers of competition, that the results are just going to be evening out regardless of how good you play or not, and that this team just isn't as talented as a lot of the other teams that they're playing against? Yeah, you could definitely say that. Flyers are nowhere near as talented as the Buffalo Sabres are. They're nowhere near as talented as the Carolina Hurricanes were. Yeah, the game against Anaheim was a game they probably should have won, but, one too many mistakes. And I didn't even think they played a bad game there. Ersson just wasn't good in that game. So that's also one of the reasons there as well. Ersson just hasn't been good to start the season when his number has been called upon. But now with this whole Carter Hart situation, whether it's going to be a short-term thing, whether it's going to be a long-term thing. It's also, of course, when you send Felix Sandstrom down to the AHL for a conditioning stint, your goaltender gets injured. So hopefully there just isn't anything too major. I'm sure we're not going to be hearing anything about Carter Hart until most likely tomorrow. Right now, it's just, we don't know anything else here at this point. I'm trying to see if there's anything on Twitter in regards to Carter Hart's injury. But right now, I am not seeing anything currently. Yeah, right now, I just don't see anything on the Twitterverse in regards to Carter Hart's injury. Maybe if I go to one of these articles here, maybe let's see what Sam Carchidi has to say. Let's see if there's anything here. Nope, they had no update after the game, so most likely we're not going to be finding anything out most likely until tomorrow, which Torch has already said they're going to have a full day off tomorrow, no practice or anything like that before they go on the road for Friday's game against this very same Buffalo team. So we'll see what happens in that case. I doubt at this point Carter Hart will be available to go. So it most likely will be Sam Ersson again in net. And whoever you're going to have to call up in that case, whether it's Felix Sandstrom again or whether you call up like Hal Peterson, who's down there in Lehigh Valley. So there's definitely going to be some decisions there because you do have a back-to-back this weekend on Friday and Saturday. So you're going to be seeing two different goaltenders. Most likely Ersson on Friday and whoever the call-up's going to be if Carter Hart isn't ready to go because he just didn't look comfortable. He did not look right there. So I really hope it's not a long-term situation. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that front for Carter Hart. But overall, like I said, I didn't think you played a bad game. This was a game that you deserved a better result. But I guess at the end of the day, you're going up against better competition, and when that better competition, when you're giving them A-plus chances, they're going to bury those more times than not, and that's exactly what Buffalo did in this game. Sadly, you got so many chances in this game, and you're just nowhere near as talented enough to where you just couldn't bury one. You know, TK had some chances that he couldn't bury, even Farabee. You know, a lot of guys had chances in this game. So, and also the power play still sucks. You know, we see 2 power play goals in that game last week against Minnesota where they absolutely destroyed them, and the power play has been terrible ever since. So I guess that's, you know, everything reverting back to the mean there. The Flyers score a couple of power play goals in one game, and now everything evens out where their power play just can't get anything going the other few games after that. So that's going to be the thing the entire season. The power play is always going to suck, so that's no surprise there. But yeah, I didn't think the process today was bad. The start to the game definitely wasn't the best, but they did pick up the pace as the game went along. You know, they go up 1-0, and then they allow those 2 goals to Buffalo. Even one of those was disallowed because of an offside, which it was clearly offside on the replay. But then basically right after that review, Buffalo scores like so many seconds after that. So it was just, you know, you found a way to battle back in the game. You had a really good second period that you did not get rewarded for. And same thing with a lot of stuff in the third period that you did really good and you didn't get rewarded for because you couldn't finish on your chances. So that's where you're going to have to deal with a team that's, you know, still going through the process of everything. And I still don't care. The results don't matter the game to me, in my honest opinion. We know this team's rebuilding. We know what their path is. We know what their goal is. At the end of the day, Danny Briere, Keith Jones, and all that stuff, regardless of what John Tortorella says, this team is in a rebuild. It's going to take a little bit. The wins and losses right now don't matter. I want to see how competitive you are on a night-to-night basis. And they're still competing hard. They're still going at it. They've been playing really good hockey for basically since the start of the season against some really good teams. Some of those that turn out into wins, some of those that turn out into late losses in those situations, you know, against games like, you know, the Vegas Golden Knights where you found a way to, you know, Vegas gets those 2 late goals to win the game off. Same thing with, you know, the Carolina Hurricanes. Same thing with this Buffalo team. So it's going to happen when you're playing better tiers of competition consistently throughout the season. And if we look at the rest of the schedule, it's not going to get any harder from here. Well, it's not going to get any easier from here, I should say. Because if you're looking at this, you know, beginning of the season stretch, you played the Columbus Blue Jackets, you played Vancouver, you played Edmonton, and Edmonton's off to a very, you know, the teams that you lost to. You lost to teams like the Dallas Stars. You lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, the Anaheim one is definitely one to, you know, I guess throw in the trash. But you lost to a really good team in Dallas in overtime. You lost to a very good team in Vegas late in the game. Same thing with a really good Carolina team late in the game. And you lost to a really good Buffalo team, even though their record doesn't showcase what they actually are, because this Buffalo team is actually pretty good, in my honest opinion. If I look at Buffalo in terms of their standings, yeah, they're 5-5 on the year, but I do believe they're more of a way better team than they're actually showing. They're a very young team, but I think they're way more of a better team than what they're actually showing. You lost to a Vegas team that is 9-0-1 on the year. You lost to a Carolina Hurricanes team that is 6-4 on the year in second place in the Metropolitan Division. So, and like I said, the schedule just doesn't get any easier from here. You're playing Buffalo again on Friday. You're playing LA on Saturday. And the LA Kings, I believe they're off to a good start of the season. Yeah, they're 5-2-2 on the year, so they're a good team. And then, yeah, it definitely does, you know, schedule-wise get easier in terms of the tier of competition. But yet again, you're going on a long road trip off to the West Coast in California. San Jose, that should be a win on the books because the San Jose Sharks have yet to win a game. They're 0-8-1, but that would be typical Flyers to lose to a team that does not have a win on the year. So that would be something there. The Anaheim Ducks, you play them on the 10th at 10 o'clock, so you're going to be getting these late games. You're playing LA again on the road, and then you play Carolina. Exactly, like this stretch of the schedule just isn't the best for the Flyers, because the rest of the month of November after that West Coast road trip, you play Carolina, you play Vegas at home, you play the Islanders, you play the Rangers, you play the Islanders, you play the Hurricanes, you play the Devils. That's a very tough stretch. It's a very tough stretch for this Flyers team. And like I said, the results fully don't matter in my honest opinion. I want to see how competitive you are game in and game out, and you could find a way to, stay within the game, make it look good, battle throughout. These young guys get good experience, and that's the most important thing. If it turns out you don't win the game, if it turns out you win the game, it doesn't matter to me. A win will be, the icing on the cake. A loss, and I'll just take it as, it's a hard-fought loss, and that's the most important thing. You're a rebuilding team, and actually, at the end of the day, the losses do help you better if you want to get in the top parts of that draft lottery. But who knows, with the extent of this Carter Hart injury, you might be losing more games than probably you'll win, just because of the way Sam Ersson has been playing, sadly. If he does find a way to pick his pace up, that'll be really good. But if Carter Hart is out for an extended period of time, you're probably going to be losing a lot more games than you win, because, the depth after Carter Hart right now, Ersson, he's a good goalie, not playing good right now. Sandstrom is Peterson is So that's basically what you're going to. Carter Hart really good, to a good Carter Hart, an elite goaltender in this league, to a Sam Ersson who is in his sophomore year, going through the sophomore slump. He's a good goaltender, but going through a rough patch. And then you go into, bottom tier goaltenders in Sandstrom and Peterson after that, depending on how long this heart injury lasts. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Their next game is Friday against this very same Buffalo team, so I would like to see what the response is on the road. And they have been playing a lot of home games lately, so maybe just, get a little change of scenery, go on the road for a little bit before you come back home on Saturday, then before you go on that long West Coast road trip. So maybe, getting on the road for a game or two will help this team out a little bit, just, get out of their comfort zone. So we'll see how they respond on Friday. That's basically the most important thing there. They played a good game today. Didn't get the result that they wanted. Probably deserved a lot better result. But the process is still there. They're playing hard. They're giving their 110% all night. They just got to figure out how to finish. They got to finish. That's the most important thing. They got to finish. Once they start finishing, and eventually the puck will start going in the back of the net, you'll probably be a little bit more happier about the result than not. So we'll see what happens in that case. But that is going to do it for today, everybody. We don't have anything in the hotline or anything like that, so definitely leave those for next time. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below, your thoughts on everything here on this Flyers team and everything like that, so leave those down there. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service with the YouTube algorithm. Join the TTP Sports family, and also use the code TTP Sports. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. Thank you guys for joining today. I'll see you next time.